think that I was really afraid of, whenever we were buying something that was way overpriced and out of a market that I couldn't afford, and finding something reasonable.
Well, I agree. I mean, today's market is crazy,
Yeah.
but I was so glad you had your realtor to work with, because she knew what you were looking for.
Exactly.
She knew what your price point was, and she was on it.
Actually, my friend knew a great realtor that she had used, and she recommended her to me.
She sold my house I was in for way more than I ever thought it was worth. She got me into a house that we now love and are renovating, and she totally took away all of the stress and all of the working with the other realtors, make sure all the paperwork was right, and that I wasn't getting the shaft at the end of the day.
I knew I'd picked the right realtor whenever she took over. She did everything for me.
I mean, I feel like honestly, all I had to do was show up at closing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so
absolutely
everything
right.
from putting the sign in my yard to selling my house, that I didn't have to do hardly anything. She would call and ask me what I wanted to do. We would talk about it. She'd make her suggestion, and I would say yes or no, or however we wanted to proceed, and I showed up and it was done deal.
I would recommend her realtor because she's very professional. She is very timely. She thinks of everything that we couldn't think of first.
I can't imagine going through this process without a realtor, having to try to manage everything on your own and make sure you didn't forget something.
Honestly, I went through this process with my daughter recently, and we were very vulnerable. It was very brand new, and without the realtor, I feel like my daughter is so young, that this was her first place that she was purchasing, and there was a lot of intimidation, and without the realtor's help, there is no way we could have gotten through this process. Having that professionalism and level of expertise there, honestly, and she took us in there as many times as we wanted to go see the condo. She took us in and out. It was never a process. It was always, yes, absolutely. There was never any hesitation. Again, easiest process in the world, and especially considering this market and how competitive it is.
It was a great thing to have a realtor that lives where we live and works where we work. She knew the market and helped us tremendously.
And in the area, she knows the area as well, and she was always accessible.